Oh, there goes my phone. It is 8:12 in the morning. I just finished Super Showdown. I am not going to lie to you. I didn't go to sleep till about midnight last night, 12:30ish, and I was back awake at 3:30 this morning to watch this show. JD was the smart one and decided to stay awake. Stay asleep. See, I'm not even all that coherent. Now, don't worry, I paid full attention to the show. I was going to do a live stream, but I realized after the first 10 minutes that I was awake that there was no way I would have been entertaining this early in the morning by myself while taking notes. No one to talk to. I would have just probably been a big bore. So I decided to spare everyone that painful experience of watching my boring ass watch wrestling at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I want to say right off the bat, this show was not bad. Not bad at all. Did it have its down points? Definitely. There are two specific spots that I have in mind where I am not a fan of how they did things. Let's see. My phone's blowing up. And look, it's YouTube telling me that I'm online. Well, how about that? This show, like I said, it wasn't bad. There's some spots that I wasn't particularly thrilled with. One in particular that definitely stands out that I'm not thrilled with, and I'll get to it. Being how I've been up since 3 a.m., 3:30 exactly, and just spent the last almost 4 hours exactly. And I'm going to be honest with you, that last match went way longer than I expected it to. Turned out to be way, way better than I thought it was going to be. But 4 hours in, I'm not mad, not upset at this show. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the best show I've seen all year, and I'm not going to tell you that it was the worst show that I've seen all year. It was a good show. That's all it was. It was a good show, a good solid show with some solid matches. There was a couple really solid matches. But right off the top, I had finished my notes, and you had Taker and Shawn and Kane and Triple H all standing there showing each other their respect, and I thought the match was over. I thought that was it. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night. So I go to start setting up for this, and Lord behold, freaking Taker and Kane end up destroying Shawn and Triple H. I paid close attention to that because I wanted to see how they did with Shawn, because they targeted Shawn individually, which, yes, I think then that pretty much solidifies the rumors are going to be true. You're going to have Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at some point. Don't know when, but I really do think that this definitely set that up. Sorry, I'm going to get a drink. This is just water. It's not. It's too early for some vodka or Everclear. So let's talk about that match. I said in my preview that the match itself wouldn't probably be nearly as good as the entrances. I was wrong. I was wrong. This match, believe it or not, was spectacular. Now, let me clarify. This match was spectacular for a match with two part-time guys. One who, over the last 3 to 4 years, hasn't had great matches, but came into this match and teased certain spots, like he teased jumping off the top rope through a table. He teased diving over the ropes like he used to. And I remember when he started to do that, I was like, no, don't do that. This match, though, was entertaining. Shawn got a big pop when he came out. Triple H, I still like his entrances, especially tonight with the skull mask and the hood, his leather jacket, and it had the NXT logo. I noticed that, and I'm a huge fan of NXT. So I was really, I really liked. I need to get something that does this because it's weird. I got to fix my lighting somehow. Listening to them, Michael Cole was on his game tonight. JD probably won't believe me. I know he'll go back later and he'll rewatch this. Michael Cole was on his game tonight. Him and Corey Graves bounced off well with each other. I'm still not sold on Renee Young yet. So, but yeah, before I get into the match, this is your full review of Super Showdown, which took place in Melbourne, Australia, at the Melbourne Kick It grounds. Kick it? Did I say kick it? Cricket. Kick it grounds. Kick. I don't know. I sound ridiculous right now. I'm tired and I can't go back to sleep. I got stuff to do today. But it was a good match. This was their first match was in '96. Triple H hadn't beat Undertaker in 16 years. Yeah, I am looking at my notes. I gotta look at my notes this morning. What is this? So I do this, and the entire color changes. If I do this, it goes bright. Color. No. Should I just stay like this the entire time? I don't know. I'm delirious. I am tired. I can only imagine all the guys who are on YouTube this morning are probably exhausted, unless they were smart and just stayed up. You guys who were on the West Coast, you guys were probably smarter than I was and stayed up. When they were due, Undertaker got pyro. I noticed that. He was the only guy who got any pyro at this show. When they were introducing them at the after the entrances, they said it was no disqualification. You had Triple H with the spark. He's all like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do that. These guys put on a hell of a match. I said it already, but these guys, they did. They really put on one hell of a freaking match, dude. Triple H, he was in there doing the whole trying to play mind games with Undertaker, baiting him whenever he tried to get him, just dodging him, mocking him, tried to do the old school, and Undertaker stopped that, tried chokeslam. I mean, it really was good. Shawn kept getting involved. They played very heelish characters during the match, and Undertaker looked good in this match. And I did say, maybe he's saving it for this match. And he did. He put everything in this match, which does tell me if you do have a Shawn Undertaker match, it's not going to be in the next month. It's probably going to be closer to January, if not WrestleMania time. They'll slowly build up to it. That's what I think. And why was Kane out there? Watching this, I'm trying to figure out what was the purpose of Kane. I didn't really see Kane get involved much. It was like Shawn and Triple H were able to pretty much do what they wanted with Taker throughout the match, and Kane was just kind of there watching like, oh, I'm here, right? What was the point? Why did they bring Kane in if he wasn't going to actually do anything to help? Sorry, guys, I have to adjust. But at some point, I guess Kane finally, he said he wanted to get involved, and I thought this was the end of the match. After chair shots, some very vile chair shots by Undertaker. These look brutal throughout the entirety of the match. Kane ended up, they set up a table earlier, and Kane got super kicked onto the table, and then Triple H dived through elbow first and put Kane through the table. Undertaker ended up hitting his tombstone right after that and only got a 2 count. It's like they tried to take the best of what these guys did previously and put it into this match. And for what it was, I think it went well. And there's a lot that happened in this match. This match it started at like around 7:15 and didn't end until just about 8 o'clock. So these guys, it wasn't no 10-minute match with The Undertaker or no 4-minute squash like you saw at WrestleMania. Undertaker put in the work in this match. And I am giving him my hats off. I really, really am. Looking at my notes here, at one point, Undertaker got the chair and he was beating Triple H and he was shit talking Shawn Michaels, and it was very reminiscent of the American Badass persona that he had. He wasn't talking like Undertaker. He was talking like Mark Calloway, moving like Mark Calloway. There was no slow, somber. It reminded me of 2000 when he was the American Badass, 2001 more specifically. These guys had gotten to the crowd, but Undertaker, he was hitting Triple H with these chair shots, and he put the chair around Triple H's throat, and Shawn gets up in the open. He's like, don't do it. Come on, please don't do it. Well, Shawn, distracted him long enough for Triple H to get up and hit him with a spine buster. Then he started beating him with the chair, and then he did put it around Undertaker's neck. Got on the middle rope, jumped, crushed his throat. Undertaker ended up knocking the ref out at some point. I mean, these two, the ending, the last 10 minutes was very high-paced, very fast-moving. And for Undertaker to be doing that is something. And look, it's awake. He was smart and stayed asleep. I should have listened to him. He's trying to go down to his car. It's funny, and he can't. The light was blinding him. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, so eventually you get the sledgehammer. It comes out. A couple occasions, chair shots to the face and then the head area. So maybe WWE's lightening up on that and allowing chair shots in big moments. I'm curious where he's going. He didn't get up and say nothing. I probably woke him up. Let's see. Turning that on so chats are available. I'm going to do real quick. You guys don't mind me. I'm going to message him real quick and see what he does. Let's go to mine. Oh, there I am. Yep, my stream's working good. So, yeah, Triple H hit the sledgehammer into the chair and it bounced back into Undertaker's face. It was, I keep saying it, this was a good match. And I really think, because most people probably haven't watched it yet. Most people aren't going to watch it. Not this early, at least. They should go back. And, at the end, a Taker got hit with the hammer. He picked out, then, chokeslam Triple H. See, where am I at in my notes? There's a part where Triple H gets put into the Hell's Gates, and he uses the sledgehammer and puts it down across Undertaker's throat and actually chokes him out to get out of the move. But the end is, Kane gets put down by Shawn and Triple H. Shawn gets in the ring. Undertaker's about to go for the tombstone. Shawn super kicks him. He stands up. He stays standing. Shawn goes for it again. He grabs him, goes to tombstone, and Triple H hits him in the forehead with the sledgehammer, and then hits him with the pedigree, and finally pins him for the 1, the 2, and the 3. The match was really good, and I'm trying to think of everything. I'm trying to think of what could I talk about, but honestly, you should go back and watch it. I'm not going to say it's a great match. It's not WrestleMania, 28. It wasn't WrestleMania 29. It wasn't even WrestleMania 17. but it was good for two guys at this stage in their careers, especially The Undertaker. This was such a good match. After the match, Undertaker, he's sitting there, and Triple H and Shawn are looking at him, and he hands Triple H a sledgehammer as a sign of, I guess, respect or acknowledgement. And then Triple H and him, they put heads together and they're talking, and Triple H helps him up, and everyone's all yay and honky-dory and showing, respect to each other, embracing and, showing all that respect. And then, like I said, I was over in the kitchen and I was looking, and next thing you know, freaking Shawn is getting his ass kicked by them, and they've knocked down Triple H. And I think this did set up for, this did definitely set up for, I think, a future match with these guys. So I did, though, want to get this match out of the way right away. Undertaker lost. They're like, oh, Undertaker didn't want to lose this way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over the rest of the card, and I'll hit my key points for each of the matches. The intro, first off, for this show was super awesome. I thought the intro for the show was really good. They said it was 16 years since the last live pay-per-view event was in Australia. This is their first ever live event that they've done in Australia ever. So the show kicked off with the New Day versus The Bar. I knew that New Day would win. Obviously, they're not going to lose. There was a title change, though, in this show. This I think, set a good tone. And this is where I noticed Cole was different for this show. Cole was bringing up, Coffey having a 900-plus day reign as a tag team champion combined. He was bringing up freaking the fact that the New Day was the longest reigning tag team champions at one point. That The Bar beat them when they were still getting used to each other. He mentioned things throughout the show, history, different guys who were involved in different moments, and I was impressed with Cole. And, they had Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston representing the New Day in this match. And they started off quick, a bunch of moves. Like Kofi's diving over the top rope, doing the suicide plancha. And Xavier Woods jump on off, and they both get caught and both get knocked down. And then that's pretty much when Sheamus and Cesaro, they took control of the match. And this was a grind-em match. Worked very well for what Sheamus and Cesaro would want to do. And they kept them down. They kept them grinding, and they played their roles really well. They were pretty over with that crowd, but like Sheamus would be going for the 10 beats of the Bowery, and he stopped and he was just tagging Sheamus and get the boo just to get the cheap heat. And they did. They worked the crowd, and you get you were wankers chants. It was funny. Good back and forth at the end of the match. Lots of switching holds and different maneuvers. But it ended with something unique. You had a backstabber double stomp off the top rope move. Like Xavier Woods, he grabbed him, he got him in the backstabber, but then held him in position for Kofi Kingston to come down and land on him. And it looked painful. It really did. It looked pretty painful. But that allowed New Day to retain the titles. And, of course, they celebrated it. And it was an entertaining match. It was super entertaining, but it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a match that I really cared about, but it was entertaining for what it was. Then they went to the SmackDown Women's Championship match. They got a lot of the SmackDown matches done early in this show. Becky Lynch defended against Charlotte for the Women's Championship. Even Australia, even Melbourne, booed Charlotte. This was not one of those, oh, the crowd's just happy to see them, let's cheer them. No, this crowd was, if they didn't like you here in America, they didn't like you there. That's how this crowd worked. But this was a very mixed crowd throughout the night. Like there was moments where they were like really into it, and then there were moments where they were just dead silent, just You could hear a pin drop. They were so quiet. The promo package at the beginning of this was super, super well done. I'm sorry, guys. I'm struggling here. I'm so sleepy. Excuse me. This was a very, very physical match. Becky working over the shoulder and the arm, and she would take Charlotte, and she was working the joints. She was very Pete Dunne-like. Both went for high-risk maneuvers, and they would miss. I mean, both women, they put everything in this match, and it was a good match. The ending sucked. Becky tried to leave after a figure 4 attempt, I think it was. And Charlotte got her back in the ring, speared her, got her into the figure 8. And Becky had already grabbed the belt and then brought the belt into the ring, or had the belt in the ring, and then she just started slapping Charlotte with it. Got herself disqualified. I don't like that ending. You made Becky look weak in that moment. Becky, who has been so good in this role and has looked like such a badass in this role, for her to all of a sudden, and the announcers fucking saying it pissed me off. Oh, she knew she was done, so she did what she had to keep the belt. Well, as long as you keep the belt, a little shorter payday, that's no bad. They're trying so hard to make you hate Becky. Trying so hard to make you hate Becky, but you're not going to. The crowd did not hate Becky. It pissed me off because that's not what's been in her character, even playing up the heel role. That's not what been Becky's about this entire time. And it was stupid, and I didn't like it because it didn't make sense. Oh, she had to cheat to get out and make sure that she kept her belt. She went from being badass heel, who didn't take crap, who was doing it because she was sick of being overshadowed, now went to pussyfoot heel. Well, had to hit her. So we know we're gonna have a rematch on SmackDown for the title. It was dumb. But after the match, as Becky's trying to leave, Charlotte goes after her again and attacks her, but Becky gets the upper hand, hits her with the belt, slams her into the barricade. They're trying so hard to get you to want Charlotte reigns. They're trying to get you to feel sympathy for her. They're trying to get you to want to, I guess, side with her. But I'm sorry to tell you, WWE, it's not going to happen, dude. It's not going to happen. No one is going to go for Charlotte. If you really think that's what's going to happen, you're out of your freaking mind. Really, you are. But there are going to be a rematch. I think there will probably end up being a screwy finish on SmackDown too. And oh my gosh, I hope. I'm still crossing every time they're going to have a Charlotte Becky match. I'm crossing my fingers and toes and eyes and everything in hopes that they don't give the belt back to Charlotte. I don't want to see Charlotte with the belt right now. So I'm going to move on to a match that I absolutely I didn't care for, even in the littlest. And this is when they really started pushing it. They kept talking about how this was a WrestleMania feel and, very WrestleMania-esque. Stop it. Stop throwing that word. This was not like a WrestleMania. This was a majority tag. Half the matches were tag matches. There was hardly any titles on the line. This was not WrestleMania-esque. Just stop it. So Elias and Kevin Owens were facing John Cena and Bobby Lashley. My first question, and I kind of alluded to it on the preview and predictions. Why couldn't Lio Rush have been his partner? Why did they have to bring John Cena in? And first of all, Elias is over as fuck. Even in Australia, Elias is over as fuck. They booed Owens at first, but then they started cheering Owens, Owens. But of course, he killed it. He turned the crowd on him quick. They should have told we should have went to Canada. That he got booed. Those two have such great chemistry on the microphone and in the ring. They are really good together. But of course, then Bobby Lashley comes out, and here comes John Cena. I don't know what to make of him at first. It's kind of jarring. Like, you can see the difference physically. He did thin out for the match, period. He thinned out. He's speaking Mandarin, which isn't nothing. And that hair. I've seen him with longer hair before, but never like this. And I know it's just hair and it shouldn't matter, but you could totally see the bald patch starting too. He's getting a bald patch. It just looked so weird. Like, his head looked like an old man with his hair and you could see his age is starting to come. But then you look at the rest of him and you're like, oh yeah, that's John Cena. It was jarring. And I can't wait to have JD look at this because it was so jarring. In fact, he's coming in the door. I'm glad he's walking in now. You got to look at John Cena's head. It's so weird. He got himself some breakfast. It's just, I don't know. I guess it'll take some getting used to when I see him again. So, yeah, old man head Cena is what I'm going to call him now. He wasn't in the match at all until the very, very end. Before I get to that, literally, I think he was in the ring 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe a minute. That's all you got of Cena in this match. But then you had Kevin Owens and Elias, who were a really great team. Like I said, they had really great chemistry. They kept Cena out, and they kept Lashley in their corner. So Lashley, he did a majority of the work. And Kevin Owens, so good. Talking smack to John Cena. Hey, you don't tell me what to do. I do what I want to. And right now, I'm talking. And then just beating up Lashley. But then finally, Cena, first off, the frog splash. The frog splash that Kevin Owens hit on him was awesome on Lashley. So finally, Kevin Owens tags out to Elias. Lashley tags in Cena. Here comes in Cena. Shoulder block. Freaking spin out power bomb. 5-knuckle shuffle. Hits the AA. Stands up. At first I'm like, oh, he's going to pin. No, he stands up. Puts his arms like this. Says something to Mandarin. Runs up and goes, punch. And gets the pinfall. Oh, and I got the name. It's called Shanti Antoine To, I think is how they pronounced it. It's in Mandarin. Shanti Antoine To, I think is the name. I will have to look it up for sure. But that was his move. It was just a simple punch. And he got the pinfall. That's all John Cena did in this match. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. And then afterwards, Cena, he's talking, he's thanking the crowd, and he's talking about how he doesn't know. He don't know where this is going to lead. He doesn't know where his future is going to go. He's just thankful, and he's going to live in the moment. But he wants to thank everyone that this will always be home. He made it sound like he's on his farewell tour now. So we'll wait and we'll see. You won't see Cena again until probably around the Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, maybe. So he's, like I said, he doesn't know what the future holds. So moving on, the Iconics versus Asuka and Naomi. The Iconics cut a very face promo, of course, because they're from Australia, born and raised. This is a match I didn't care about. They tried to make Naomi seem more important than Asuka through the entrance, through the hot tag. They really did push home that somehow Naomi was more important than Asuka. Corey Graves, even at a point, says a line that says, "I miss when Asuka just used to kick people's heads off." Instead, now Asuka's up there dancing with Naomi to her music. Oh my gosh. But Asuka and Naomi, they did work well together. I'll give them that. They worked well as a tag team. Naomi ended up getting the hot tag, was on fire, ended up getting the Iconics. They worked well as a team, obviously. They got Asuka to the outside, threw her into the barricade, got into the ring. Billie Kay held her up in position, and then Peyton Royce just comes up and hits her with the knee. And they end up getting the pinfall and winning this match. The match was just, it wasn't a long match anyways, and it was so off-kilt and so weird. But I didn't care anyways. But good on the Iconics. I hoped that they were going to win. But Asuka needed the victory. I'm glad they let Naomi take the pinfall, and it kind of saves Asuka from looking sort of stupid, I guess. But I honestly don't care. I don't. However, there was a match I did care about, and I took a lot of notes on this match. And that was AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship. I'm going to ask again, because I asked this about Hell in a Cell, and I mentioned this about SummerSlam. Why is the WWE Championship so low on the card? It was in the second hour of the show, which I think it was just shy of 4 hours, so I guess it's not too bad. It was about middle of the road. I'm wanting the WWE title to have more relevance, to be more appreciated, to be shown off and actually acted as if it matters, and I'm not getting that. But the match itself was really good. It was the best match that these guys have had so far, especially the way that the ending went and how they got you there. This was day number 332 for AJ Styles as the WWE champion. Both men had a good reaction going out. They didn't even get to the ring. They started this match in the IOA fighting. It was physical. From the start to the finish, this was a physical match. AJ's bleeding in this match. They allowed a headshot with a chair in this match. That was awesome. I mean, it wasn't actually a direct chair shot. Oh, God. The ogre isn't behind me. It's the ogre. Look at him. I probably woke him up. Oh, well. I've been up since 3:30. It's whatever. And I need some coffee. I need some coffee bad. But there's a part where Joe say hi everyone to JD. Joe throws AJ across the table. AJ lands on his feet, jumps, runs across the table, jumps back to the ring. It just gets back and then just starts beating him up. At a point though, AJ's got him down and he's kicking with these stiff kicks. And then Joe gives him this chop. It's like, you hear it loud. It was louder than that. That hurt my hand. It was way louder than that. And he did like that 2 or 3 times. And you could feel it. Oh, I felt it. I was just sitting here wincing, looking at it. But then this match, it was Joe's pace. This match was kept at Joe's pace through the majority of the match. And, AJ would get a little flurry of offense, but then Joe would just knock him back down. It was a slow burn. Joe dissected AJ in this match. He ended up clotheslining him, hitting him in the ribs. The next thing you got AJ with blood coming out of his mouth. And I think it was real blood. I think he bit his lip. And if I remember right, I think that happened last month too when Joe clotheslined him. He ended up bleeding from the mouth then too. Hey, AJ, go to see your dentist, dude. Maybe you got something wrong with your mouth. That's when they got the chair in. Joe went to hit AJ with the chair. AJ drop kicked him and it smacked Joe in the face. So thank you, WWE, for giving us headshots again, even if it's just a couple tonight or this morning. It's really weird trying to review in the morning. You feel so off kilter. Like it was night there and it was dark when I started, but it's daylight by the time I finished. And man, don't do this to me again. And God, it's going to be weird. Evolution's on a Sunday, and then Crown Jewel is on a Friday midday. So poor JD is going to miss yet another show because they're doing it on a freaking Friday. Whatever. So Joe, he gets hit in the face. So then AJ is hitting Joe with the chair. He sets the chair up when Joe's in the corner. He goes to run to elbow Joe in the face. Joe grabs him, Uranagi's him into the chair, back first, 6 spot. Then he gets the table set up. Tried to suplex AJ through the table. Now, this is a little weird spot. And I don't know if they botched it or if it meant to look like this. AJ slips down, gets Joe on his shoulders, and then just kind of falls sideways into the table. Puts himself through the table with Joe, and then Joe's immediately clutching his knee, which I know was set up. I know it was part of the show, but it looked bad. It didn't look right. So, you got Joe with a hurt knee, but AJ showed no mercy. He says, there's consequences to messing with my family, and I'm about to ask JD to run up to McDonald's and get me a coffee while I do this. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So AJ, he's attacking the knee. He's working over the knee. He goes for a calf crusher. Joe blocks it, gets him into a coquina clutch. AJ escapes that by getting underneath the ropes. Joe's, kind of laying there. AJ gets onto the top rope, does a 450 splash off a springboard onto Joe's leg. Joe rolls out of the ring. AJ and him are fighting. Joe tosses him over the barricade. Then Joe jumps onto the barricade, jumps up, phenomenal forearms Joe. I'm thinking this match should have probably already ended. AJ gets Joe back to the ring. Then AJ, goes for another phenomenal forearm. Misses. Joe sidesteps, get him back into the coquina clutch. AJ is trying to fight it off. He's trying to get him to the ground. But so what Joe does, he grabs him by the neck and just throws him over his head into a very nasty suplex. That only gets him a 2. Only got him a 2. Joe, you have a little bit more fighting. Joe goes for the muscle buster. That gets countered. I think AJ went for a roll up. That got countered into the coquina clutch. AJ rolls through like he did at Hell in a Cell, tries to pin him. Joe pushes him off. AJ stands back up, gets him into a calf crusher. Joe taps. AJ is still WWE champion. That was one hell of a fucking match. I know, I said it. The whole AJ thing's getting stale. The Samoa Joe rivalry was getting stale. JD is ready for AJ to not be champion anymore. And JD likes AJ Styles. He's just ready for a title change, as is a lot of people. But they kept the belt on AJ, and I'm glad they did because of what we're going to get in November, in just under a month. Here was a match that I knew something was going to happen, and I was kind of right. The Riot Squad versus Ronda Rousey and the Bellas. So the Bellas got booed. Kind of had a mixed reaction for Ronda when she came out. There was literally no reaction for the Riot Squad. I think no one cared about this match, as did I. I didn't care. So they all get out there, and right off the bat, you could see they were building a story. But then they kind of just abandoned it at the end, and it was like, and I'll give you my thoughts on how I think this is going to make Ronda look. First off, Liv Morgan was in this match. Liv Morgan is okay, everybody. So lay off of Brie Bella. Stop calling for her to be fired. Liv Morgan missed 1 week. She's back and she's wrestling. She actually was in the match. She just wasn't on the apron. She actually wrestled. So when the match was going to start, Ronda wanted to start, but Nikki wanted to start, and they started immediately arguing about who should start the match. Well, Nikki got to start. And throughout the first half of this match, when there was a tag made for their team, it was between Nikki and Brie. And they kind of kept Ronda out until just Brie was no longer on the apron, and they finally let Ronda get the hot tag. Firstly, the Riot Squad actually does work well together. And they don't look bad. Sarah Logan is warming up to her. Liv Morgan, I need more out of it. But, Sarah Logan's developed character, even though it's kind of dumb, the whole Viking thing. But there was stuff to that they explained. Ruby Riott, though, she is head and shoulders above everyone in that match. When you talk about actual wrestler, she's head and shoulders above the rest of them. Hey, if you were going to go to McDonald's, you should have told me. I would have given you like $5 to get me a coffee. He's just staring at me. I don't care, live review or not. I wanted a coffee. For the podcast people, he's just giving this like go to hell look. He's sipping on his drink. Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. Anyways, like I said, Ruby Riott head and shoulders above the rest of them, to include Ronda. So Nikki, she gets the hot tag to Ronda. Ronda comes in there and she just cleans house. She's throwing people around with judo throws left and right. And she goes to put the armbar on Sarah Logan, but that gets broke up by Liv Morgan. And the Bellas get the other two out of the ring and beat them up. But here comes Liv Morgan again. Ronda takes them both down with a judo throw at the same time, then puts them both in the armbar and makes them both tap. This is what I want to see from Ronda Rousey. Now, what I had the problem with, and it's the same issue I had with the John Cena match, which I laughed about it, sure, but literally Cena did nothing but 6 moves and pinned a guy, and he was gone. Ronda Rousey, I wanted her to be intimidating. While I wanted her to do what she did, I wanted more from her. She literally came in, threw them around, did her, come on, and threw them around like rag dolls, which is cool. But I don't know. I just wanted a little bit more interaction with her. And I didn't like how they were trying to tell the story with her and the Bellas. Why? Because I, for the love of God, do not want Nikki Bella facing Ronda Rousey at Evolution. Because even after the match, they made the announcements of, you're going to get Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus. You're getting Mickie James.
Bellas, go away.
Exactly. Bellas, go away. He'll watch it later, and he'll know what all I'm talking about. And you're getting Mickie James versus Lita. And then they're like, oh, and we're being told Ronda Rousey's going to defend her title. Well, no fucking duh. We were told when they announced Evolution that all the women's championships would be on the line. We know that the NXT women's title is going to happen. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. They didn't even mention that. That probably won't even be a main event. But they had to show Ronda Rousey in their promo for that, Ronda's going to have a match too. But we don't know who she's going to face yet. We know who it is now because you're building it. You're giving the tension between Ronda and Nikki. I don't want it. I'm pretty sure most people out there don't want it. And if you listen to that first Yo Bro Nation, you know that was actually part of the spoilers. Now, not all of those are going to be true, obviously, because we now know Shayna Baszler is facing Kairi at Evolution. So maybe they're still going to do the Battle Royal, but it's not going to be where the winner faces her. Cool. I have to say something. Oh, dang. I messed up my thing. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the freaking Bellas. And I'm sorry. And maybe I'm wrong for feeling that way. And I shouldn't be so harsh on the Bellas. But I've never been a fan of Nikki. I've never been a fan of Brie. While I think Nikki's the better wrestler, Nikki is the better wrestler. Brie, however, I think has the better personality, I guess. Where Nikki, to me, is just a bitch. And they're back to promote their things. They're back for Evolution. They want to make it sound like they're a big part of this. The Bella legacy. Well, what is the Bella legacy? Like, seriously, what is the Bella legacy? Nothing. That's what it is. It's nothing. And if you're a fan, I almost knocked it over. If you're a fan of the Bellas, I'm not telling you shouldn't like the Bellas. I'm not saying the Bellas should be fired. I'm not saying that they should go back to developmental and learn how to wrestle. I'm not doing any of that because that's stupid and it's not true. But, I mean, the Bellas have their place in history, but it's part of the Divas history. They're not part of the women's revolution. They're not. I'm sorry. Moving on to something that's actually important. And I'm so happy that WWE put the focus on the Cruiserweight Championship in this show and put it high up on the card. I think it was right where I think it should have been, considering who was in it. And Buddy Murphy got treated like a big deal tonight. Buddy Murphy came in there like a big star. They let him come out last after Cedric Alexander. They introduced him last for the match, and he got a big pop. And right out the gate, he comes running, hits Cedric Alexander with the knee, goes to go to the top rope, and then he's flying around. I didn't know Buddy Murphy could fly like that. Will this compare to their match earlier in the year? Yes. Was it as good as? That's debatable with people. They're there together, in my opinion. Just in my opinion. I'm telling you what, you talk as much as I've been talking, your throat gets dry quick. Yeah, he's doing a suicide dive over the top rope. He's jumping off the top rope, doing these double knees. But Cedric Alexander too, man. First off, thank you, Cedric, for rocking the Iron Spider look with your gear tonight. Super beautiful super kick from Cedric Alexander. He did this top rope Michinoku driver where he gets up there. Buddy Murphy jumps up on there. He just grabs him, just dives and Michinoku driver. Beautiful. Then he does this freaking standing Spanish fly. I mean, Cedric Alexander, man, he's the real deal. And I think he could go beyond the Cruiserweight division. These guys will probably have a rematch either on 205 Live or at Crown Jewel. They countered everything. It's counter this, counter that. Beautiful. These guys have such great chemistry together. And I'm excited to see if they give them a third match because Cedric won the first one. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. They made everything look good. And I loved watching this match. And I was waiting for it, like, well, when is it going to happen? Okay. And the higher up the card it went, the more excited I was, like, yeah, okay. They recognize this is important. They recognize Buddy Murphy, who's from there, should be represented better. But like I said, counters galore. At the end, you had freaking Buddy Murphy hit him with the knee, went for his pump handle driver. That got countered into a standing Spanish fly, which he got up, hit the lumbar check, only got a 2 count. Then that got count. He went for another move. That got countered into the knee again. Then got hit into the pump handle driver. The crowd popped, and Buddy Murphy got the 1, the 2, and the 3, and a huge pop. Buddy Murphy is the new Cruiserweight champion. And I think it was the right decision to give Buddy Murphy the title, even if it's temporarily, with it being there. The Iconics won. He won. I'm pretty sure they're the only ones from Australia, and it was perfect. That's why I was saying there should be a third match. Cedric won. Buddy Murphy won. Give him a third match at Crown Jewel. And I like the idea of a rubber match. I really do. Dang. I still got a bit to go. The match in overall opinion of the match, fantastic match. Fantastic Cruiserweight Championship match. this should show, and I don't know, I don't think Vince McMahon was there tonight because, one, Michael Cole was allowed to do what Michael Cole wanted to do. Michael sounded good. The cruiserweights were higher up the card, and and Roman Reigns was further down than he usually would be. So it's all right by me. Made the show better. Speaking of Roman Reigns, let me get another drink because I have a lot to say. The Shield versus Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman was next. And one, Shield had new gear. Very nice. I like their new look. I mean, it's not really new. It's just new vests, and they had these cool little, like, Sub-Zero Scorpion-like masks. And you had Dean with that hoodie up, and it was really nice. Shield gets out there. They surround the ring, and then they get them. They get them to the outside. They fight them off, and they try to get Strowman through the table. But that didn't work. Majority of this match was spent with Seth being beat up. I mean, Seth did the bulk of the work in this match. Seth is as the Shield likes to throw around, the workhorse of the company. I'm going to call him Team Strowman because I don't know if they have an official name yet, but Team Strowman, like I said, they kept Seth away from the Shield. No one's buying that Braun Strowman's a heel. I'm certainly not, and I don't think anyone is. There was not a lot of reaction to this match until Roman got in and he got booed out of the building. But you saw Seth struggle. You saw, the utter beatdown of Seth Rollins and him trying to get into his corner. But, at one point he's almost to the corner. Here comes, Strowman. He knocks both guys off. Then he gets out and knocks them down, and they get beat up. Finally, what happens is Strowman gets on the top rope. He goes to do like a dive, and he misses. And he did that, last year at Fastlane, I think it was, and he missed and ultimately cost him the match. But Seth finally gets in, finally gets Ambrose the hot tag. Here comes him, Ambrose. He's going nuts. Him and Ziggler work good together. I'm pretty much going to highlight because a lot happens throughout this match. I don't even know where I'm at. Ziggler's in there. So finally, Ambrose is doing his thing. He gets beat up a little bit. Here comes in Roman. Here comes in all the boos. Roman gets booed when he's tagged. I did like him and McIntyre. I think they look good. He goes for a Superman punch. Misses McIntyre. McIntyre, he moves. Ambrose gets hit in the face. Ambrose goes down. Oh, everyone's like, oh. One of the few times the crowd really got into this match. Then they get beat up. Everything starts breaking down. It gets chaotic. Team Strowman takes advantage. They end up surrounding Rollins and Reigns. And as they're doing that, Ambrose gets up on the apron too, and he's just standing there, and everyone's like, yes, yes. Like they want to see him turn on the Shield. I'm really starting to think it's not going to happen because they're just throwing it in your fucking face. Like, oh, look, he's going to turn heel. Look, see what we're doing? You like it? Do you like it? No. I want it to be a surprise. They're like almost telegraphing it. Almost so much you really do think that it's not going to happen. Anywho, so Ambrose is standing there. They're all standing there, and Strowman's like, yeah, you guys like this. Do this. Come on, come on, come on. And then Ambrose jumps in the ring, attacks them. So they all start fighting again. They get thrown out of the ring. Strowman destroys Seth, destroys Roman, knocks them both on the outside. And he's like, finish him. So he gets the zigzag, kicks out. They go for the Claymore zigzag. No. He says, throw him on the outside. So he throws him on the outside. Strowman's going to run through him like he did the other two. And here comes Roman and spears Strowman through the barricade. Just obliterates the barricade. Obliterates themselves. Then they go for the Claymore super kick. Seth Rollins super kicks McIntyre out of the ring. Then Ziggler super kicks Seth out of the ring. Dean gets the dirty deeds. So there you go. They the Shield won, which I don't think they should have. I think Strowman should have won and built momentum. They end up, helping Roman up, coming around the ring. Seth's got this. And I noticed this, and it could be nothing. Seth's kind of looking worried at first, right? When Dean's kind of walking around, he's kind of looking at him. And then when Dean goes over to Roman and starts picking him up, then he's got this smirk on his face. Like, yeah, he's still on our side. They're still playing it up to where they need Dean. Dean doesn't need them. But they have to see he knew what Roman did. And they're always like, well, I guess if there's any questions, there's no questions now. But then tomorrow night, they'll try to plant more seeds. And, oh, well, is there dissension? Is there not dissension? Blase, blase, blah. I don't know. It's the will he, won't he aspect is getting on my nerves. The match itself was fine. It was an okay 6-man tag. Not the best. Maybe a little long, but I wasn't that interested in it anyways. I was more intrigued with what the storyline with Dean was going to be, which I didn't expect to turn. They got new shirts. They came out with new gear. I definitely didn't expect it tonight. So they stand united. But this whole will he, won't he thing is getting on my nerves already. 2 weeks in, and they just keep pushing it in your face. Just, here you go. There you go. It's like annoying. And I want to see Dean turn heel. I know he's at some point going to, but now I'm starting to think maybe not. It's like they're hitting it too hard over the head with him turning. So I'm probably wrong. Honestly, I'm probably wrong. So who knows? But I'm going to move on to something that was a little confusing. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz for the #1 contendership. Nice promo package, as always. You see AJ before the match and after the match watching what's going on. At first, I thought they were going to play Daniel Bryan having his ribs hurt. That was going to play into this match. This match, people, was less than 5 minutes. Daniel Bryan, who had hurt his ribs on SmackDown, I was putting how I was like these two work together, how they were exchanging it kicks. Miz was in full control of this match. And he was showing up Daniel Bryan. I'll be fair. Well, he goes to go for a skull-crushing finale, and I'm writing down it kicks. And next thing you know, the bell's ringing, and they're like, Miz won. No, Daniel Bryan won. And then Daniel Bryan gets his hand raised. And I'm like, wait, what happened? He does a small package, gets the 3 count. However, you can see it clearly, Miz gets his shoulder up. So, yes, JD will be happy. Miz lost. Daniel Bryan, we're getting Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel. However, Miz is not out of the equation yet because he did get his shoulder up before the pin happened. It was quick. It was very unexpected. I was expecting another 20-minute match with these guys, especially with how much time was left. I think it will be interesting to see, Miz is going to go to Paige on SmackDown and be all like, hey, I got my shoulder up. Look at the footage. This is what happened. But at least for now, we're getting one-on-one Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. So I will wait and reserve judgment on this until I see SmackDown on Tuesday and see what they do with that. And then I will go from there. Of course, that led you into the main event. Oh, Jade's got an opinion. I see it on his face. What is your opinion? This sucks. He lost. Does that make you feel better?
This is horrible.
Well, he lost in less than 5 minutes.
Told you.
Uh-oh. What is he doing? What are you doing? Are you gonna sit here? How did JD sleep?
Horrible.
Horrible. Did I wake you up this morning?
No.
Okay.
My head woke me up.
His head woke him up. Well,
I feel like a drinker, but I can't drink.
Yeah, I try not to drink. So yeah, that brought us to the main event, which was of course Triple H with Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, who had Kane in his corner. I already talked about that match in full length. I guess JD just wanted to make an appearance, even though he missed the entire show. He'll watch it later.
Everybody watches because of me.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Again, great match. That was Undertaker shocked me. Undertaker lost. Triple H won. He hates that because it's triple trash, as he puts it. But both guys were pretty good, and Undertaker shocked me. So, any opinions from what you've heard me say? Happy about anything that you've heard me say? I know you're happy to hear Miz lost. Anyways, I'm Zach. Check out our Twitter and our Facebook, Yo Bro Gaming and Reviews. On Facebook, Twitter is Yo Bro Gaming 1. You can go to our Patreon, Yo Bro Gaming and Reviews. Have the second episode of Yo Bro Nation on there, where you can hear everything this guy had to say about DC, Marvel, and any other crazy theory that he had. And Jake's on there with us, so go check that out. That's up. $3 and up patrons. You can see that episode. Hi, Zach Beckett. Thank you for coming on the show and watching us. Also, we got TeePublic. Yo Bro Nation 1 is our TeePublic site. Go check that out. Get our T-shirts. Kissing Bandit. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. And it's going to be awesome when it comes. I can't wait. I'm buying one for myself.
I even give you the Macho Man. No.
Also, check out our new YouTube channel, which just launched yesterday, Yo Bro Podcast Network. We got the intro to the channel up there, and we also have yesterday's preview and prediction. This video, for all you podcast listeners, will be up later today. You can listen to this in podcast form. You won't have to look at my ugly, tired mug. You'll just hear my beautiful, soft-winded voice. You'll miss, though, that expression that he gives, which is always funny. Good news. I have a Punisher review coming up with a special guest, if he's still coming in for it. Someone I mentioned on the video or the podcast yesterday for the new channel, so check that out. Also up today will be the Best of the Best episode 2 on the podcast feed, so you can listen to that as we uploaded it last week. So it'll all get caught up. It's all coming in. It's all new. Link for that new channel is down in the description. Check it out. I'm Zach. That was JD, who made his little cameo appearance.
And because of me and my connections, I got us a special guest.
Oh, well, I can't wait to see what this is. So that is going to be it for this, you guys. I have work to do, and I am tired. So thank you all, Yo Bro, and I'll see you guys later, sort of. Okay, bye-bye.
Talk to the special guest.
Cool.